Hello and welcome to the next episode of my channel where I'll be taking up a lesson from the PUC. The name of the chapter is The Gentleman of Jungle. So this chapter basically is a fable. It's a story through which the narrator uses the help of animals to teach us moral values. Now in this chapter, the elephant or the animals represent the European powers which were able to rule over Africa. And the gentleman represents the Africans who were ignorant and who did not understand any treaty which they were asked to sign. And this is how the Europeans were able to rule over them because they were very, very ignorant. Okay, so let's start this chapter. Once upon a time, an elephant became friends with a man. And one day what happened? There was a heavy thunderstorm. So obviously, at the times of need, the first person we approach is our friend. So similarly, the elephant went to his friend, this man who lived in the jungle, because this man had a little hut at the edge of the forest and said to him and asked him if he could just put his trunk inside his hut to keep out from the heavy rain. So what happened? We see that the elephant just asked space to keep his trunk inside. The elephant, being a kind person, replied that yes, obviously, because the elephant was his friend and the hut was too small, but at least the elephant could put his trunk inside the house along with him. The elephant thanked his friend and praised him, saying that he had done something very, very great and he would definitely return his kindness. But then, what happened afterwards? The elephant put his trunk inside the hut, then he pushed the head inside, and then finally threw the man out in the rain. So this is what the Europeans had been doing with the Indians or Africans. First, they entered the country, on a friendly basis just to do some kind of trade or something, and then they overpowered the whole country. So in this case, as you can see, the elephant represents all these European powers, whereas this man represents the colonial countries. So the man who was still very kind to him, okay, he was thrown out into the rain, and in return, what did the elephant tell him? My dear good friend, your skin is harder than mine, and as there is not enough room for both of us, you can afford to remain in the rain. So see, it was the man who had given him shelter. But what did the elephant do in return? He threw him out, and he also told him that because his skin was thicker than him, he can survive the rain, but he cannot. The man obviously was very sad and he started to grumble. Okay, and the animals in the nearby forest just came listening to the noise to see what had happened, what was the matter. And all stood around listening to the argument between the man and his friend, that is the elephant. Okay, so in that confusion, the lion came roaring and he started shouting at everyone that don't you know that that I am the king of the jungle? And how dare you disturb the peace of my kingdom? Okay. On hearing this, the elephant, who was one of the high ministers. Now see, this is corruption. Okay. Now elephant is one of the high ministers. So it's obvious that the lion is going to speak in the favor of the elephant. Okay. So the elephant said that, my lord, there is no disturbance of peace in your kingdom. I have only been having a little discussion with my friend regarding who should have the possession of the little hut. The lion, who wanted to have peace, okay, replied in a very noble voice. What did he reply? That I command a commission of inquiry to be set up to go through into this matter and report accordingly. Again, corruption. You want to have an inquiry done, and in that inquiry, you have who all are there in this inquiry? The rhinoceros, the buffalo, the alligator, the fox, who was the chairman, the leopard, who was the secretary to the commission. So the man was actually very pleased at the sweet words from the king of the jungle, and he waited for his opportunity in the belief that naturally the hut would be returned to him, because when the commission would be set up and the truth would come out, the king would definitely return the hut to him. Okay, but he was told that it was impossible, since no one from his side was well enough educated to understand the intricacy of jungle law. So as I told you, these 5 people were there in the commission: rhinoceros, Mr. Buffalo, alligator, fox, and leopard, who was the secretary to the commission. Okay, now on seeing the personnel, on seeing this team, this man protested. Why did he protest? Okay, when he had heard the king's sweet voice, he was very happy. Okay, but when he saw who all were there in the commission, he protested, because no human being was there in the committee. So obviously, the inquiry would give a one-sided decision. Okay, but what was the answer given to him? That nobody of your race can understand the jungle law properly. Okay. Further, they also said there was nothing to fear, for the members of the commission were all men of repute and known for their impartiality. Okay, so all this was to just make the man quiet, but obviously we get a hint that what is going to be done is not going to be fair at all. So I hope you have understood till here. We'll continue the next part in the next video.